You're talking about reality. Can you imagine a music video that actually promoted responsible behavior in both words and images?
You mean, such as abstinence. In music videos, movies, and TV, we usually don't see anyone suffering an unwanted pregnancy, getting a sexually transmitted disease, or having some other negative consequence.
I saw a good movie this year about a smart high school senior who had a mind of her own. The emphasis was not on her appearance, but on tough life decisions she had to make. And this girl wasn't about to buy into stereotypes. The tough decisions she made produced positive results and a better life for herself. Reality programming at its finest.
I believe there are more and better roles for women and girls today than ever before. The same is true for men. Being a stay-at-home dad, for example, is much more common and acceptable these days.
I just wish we saw more variety on TV. Still, you have to step back and check for reality, accuracy, and honesty. Variety is no good if it's misleading or promotes risk-taking behavior.
Am I really supposed to act like that? No.
Good question. You don't have to conform to the media stereotypes. We know that you can't avoid the media completely, but you have the power to make choices.
One girl, Liz, wrote this.
I had a subscription to a magazine, and when it ran out, I really didn't miss it. In fact, I realized I felt a lot better about myself. I was no longer looking at all the articles about how to get a boyfriend, how to have the perfect hairstyle, or how to lose 20 pounds in 1 week.
Magazine articles can give us great information, but they can create terrible pressure too. Here's a letter from a 12-year-old girl who wrote that her mother refused to let her buy certain teen magazines.
I found a chart online. It's a standard height and weight chart for kids my age. I didn't fit the chart and it made me feel bad. But then my mother saw the chart and we talked about it. And now I'm going to focus more on my health and less on how I look.
Well, guys have to put up with athletic stereotypes. Remember, these people are models, and in the muscle-building industry, steroid use is commonplace. Using steroids for the sole purpose of building muscle mass is not healthy and should be considered risk-taking behavior. Some of the articles make misleading claims. In fact, some of the so-called articles are actually advertisements.
And those magazines are supported by makers of equipment and dietary supplements and over-the-counter drugs such as stimulants. If you want honest information about weight training, talk to your coach or a certified trainer. Let's take another letter here. This one's from Simon. I wear thick glasses,
have acne, and I'm short for my age. Basically, I feel like I will never have a girlfriend. I see all these beautiful girls on TV and in the magazines, and I know they will never go for a guy like me.
Hey Simon, those girls in magazines may also wear glasses and have acne. The photos you see have been touched up to make the models look perfect. Don't expect real women to look that way, and don't expect yourself to look perfect either. Remember, you are still growing and changing.
That's right. There's a great variety of interesting people out there. Short, tall, plain, pretty, small, medium, and large. As long as you focus on your health as a whole, I'm sure you'll turn out just fine.
Looks are just one part of the equation. Relax. Be yourself. Try talking to a few girls. Personality and self-confidence go a long way.
And now, let's talk about two more powerful media, video games and the internet. You like video games, right, Brad? But just how realistic are those games? First, let's read the mail. This comes from Mike.
Dear Straight Talk, I just want to say that I have played video games for a long time, starting when I was 7. Now, I have a big library of games. Some people think I've gone overboard. What do you think?
Well, if the games you play promote risk-taking behavior or violence, or if you spend excessive time in front of the screen, you could be doing harm to yourself, whether you realize it or not. Research has shown that excessive exposure to violence in the media can desensitize you to violent behavior in real life.
But Brad, not all games are violent.
Sure, but generally kids who are often angry or impulsive and hot-tempered, who play the violent games addictively, who have no other outlet for their rage, are the ones parents and teachers need to counsel.
I have also heard and seen that the girls and women in those games are frequently portrayed as sex objects or cast in demeaning roles or roles where they suffer abuse.
I think that's true. The games certainly don't do much for the image of women. Yet the video game market is huge and growing. The games continue to use sex to promote violence. And as technology advances, the distinction between fantasy and reality becomes more blurred.
So you have to be informed, and this is where our checkpoints are important. Are these games realistic? Are they accurate and honest? I mean, is life like this?
Exactly. And even knowing that the games are just for fun, that they don't reflect reality, is a bit of a cop-out. When people play these games excessively, they may become desensitized to the unhealthy messages, sometimes with negative consequences.
Since the internet is the most recent media phenomenon, we've left it to last. What can we say about this medium that is so available at all times?
I think we can say the same things we say about other media. The internet world is vast. It's an amazing resource that gives us access to a wealth of information and allows us to communicate worldwide.
But there are good and bad things on it. Be careful of misleading information. Anyone can publish a website. And think about all the email hoaxes that people have fallen for. Check to make sure that the information you are getting is accurate. Ask yourself or a librarian, parent, or teacher these questions. Is the source reputable? Who put the information online? And most importantly, what do they have to gain from it?
Whatever you are doing on the internet, whether it is research or playing games or just surfing, reflect on how you feel about what you are seeing and hearing. You have the decision-making power to close windows that serve up offensive material or to simply shut down the computer.
Listen to your own feelings. If your parents don't talk with you about how you are spending your time, maybe you can bring up the subject and talk with them about it.
Here's another good letter.
My father and I watch TV together. Sometimes he asks me what I think about certain characters, or if I know people who behave that way. Sometimes he talks back to the TV. That's ridiculous, he'll say, or that's just plain sexist. Now sometimes I yell at the TV. It feels good. Even though they can't hear me, at least they know what I'm thinking.
They don't know what you're thinking. They really can't hear you. But we get the point.
It feels good to yell at the TV sometimes. You can also write letters to magazines, TV networks, and to advertisers to express your feelings. This is where the internet can be very helpful. You can easily find contact information and send an email. A single letter has been known to change an entire ad campaign. Look for our Marsh Media email address at the end of this show and send us your feedback. After all, we're a media outlet too.
When it comes to the media, it pays to be a critical thinker, especially in the area of sex and gender roles. Check for realism, accuracy, honest information, and agreement with your personal values.
Remember, media can influence you in positive ways, to learn, to go to school, be active, and have fun. But media can lead or mislead you in ways that are harmful.
You don't need to dress or act like the people in music videos. And you don't need to read stories or watch movies or TV which make you feel uncomfortable. Imagine for a moment a world with no media influence. What kind of person would you be?
This is a very exciting time in your life, and you need to feel good about yourself and the choices you will make.
And remember,
straight talk will always help.